I hear what you're saying about we're eternal beings and you're never going to get it done and
blah, blah, blah.
More desires. It's good. But there's a lot of spiritual teachings out there also that say that the game we're in is something like transcending desires one by one until we eventually reunite with Source and then we stop
it's not
incarnating.
Transcending desires. What people think is transcending desire is taking the sting out of them. The reason that there are teachers that teach you that it's not a good idea to want something is because if you desire it and you don't believe it, then there's a tension within you that isn't good for you. And so by releasing the resistance, that tension goes away. That's what we would call transcending the desire, would really be releasing the resistance in it and then becoming one with the desire. Yeah.
But is this world an open sandbox of creation that we're going to be playing in forever? Or
yes.
Is there or?
Yes.
So do we ever reach a point where we kind of leave this octave or this level of the playground and go up to some other level entirely? Or are we going to just keep coming back here, come back in the future, come back a different gender, come back a different height?
That question comes from the perspective of a physical world who is playing in that sandbox that we were talking about earlier. But when you are continually and deliberately in concert with source energy, then you realize that there's no ending to the satisfaction that that perspective can bring you. Evolution and expansion is evolution and expansion. And in order to really enjoy evolution and expansion, there must be a place from which you are starting so that you can feel it as it unfolds. And so it will never be like you jump into another place. There will always be the continuity from where you are into what you're reaching forward into.
And we're not trying to get to anything in particular other than to catch up with everything we've found along the way that we want.
It isn't quite like that either. It's that you enjoy this leading edge experience, inspiring you to the awareness that there can be more, and then to the specifics of the more that you are choosing, and then the allowing of that more that you've chosen coming into your experience is the epitome of what satisfaction is. And so as an eternal joyous creator, that's what you want. You're not here to fix a broken world, because there's no part of you from the non-physical perspective that sees this world as broken. You are a creator reaching for more ingredients with which to create more satisfying things. And a lot of humans can't hear that, because you need a dragon to slay. You need a problem to solve in this moment of misunderstanding to feel like you're justified in being here. It takes quite a bit of exposure to what we know to be, to accept your right now complete, no need to justify it, worthiness.
So I think it ties into the other question I've been chewing on, which is, so it's 2019 and there's teachers and channelers all over YouTube. There's a million books, there's a million spiritual teachings, there's podcasts, all sorts of stuff. And I wonder sometimes, because I'll be listening to you and it's like, oh, resonant truth. And then I'll be listening to Bashar and like, oh, resonant truth. Matt Kahn, ooh, resonant truth. But sometimes there's conflictions, and I wonder about sorting out, exploring all these different truths and still being able to hold on to what's my truth.
Well, pay attention to, as this happens to you, and we are not in disagreement with anything that you're describing, but pay attention to that as it happens to you from this point forward, from the framework that we've established together today, where you are asking yourself, am I quibbling over a subject, or is there a root basis of universal law that is at odds? Because there cannot be a root universal law that is at odds. In other words, if you're feeling resonance, then it's just a matter of preference in the way you choose to define it.
I've been thinking recently it's kind of like tuning a radio dial or something, and you're just picking up different kinds of music, but it's all music, and you're in the mood for different sorts of music at different times. Yeah.
And in a vibrational place to hear it. What your question is really pointing at is your varying degrees of receiving modiness. When you're really tuned in, then you can explore the subtle nuances of what your source knows. And if you're not that tuned in, then it's not that subtle. It has to be more obvious. But it doesn't mean that one is better than the other. It's just your description is good. It's what you're in the mood for, or what you're in the attitudinal range to hear. And the most important thing that this conversation points out is that there's no right or wrong in any of it. You're here as creators exploring avenues of creation for the satisfaction of creation. And in expansion, there is always value.
What do you think of grounding? That's a term that gets thrown a lot in spiritual circles. And you know, it's like you got to be grounded, fully integrated, fully in your body for this human experience. Feel your way through all your feelings. And I get it, you know, it's nice to kind of line up all the different layers of your being, but sometimes when I hear people tell me to ground, it also sort of sounds like, you know, you're grounded, young man. No playing with etheric spiritual concepts until you've done your shadow work. Or
well, you've been following one of the primary tenets of what we teach, where we're talking about step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Step 1 being where the contrast inspires the launching of a further personal desire from your perspective. And so if there is any grounding, it's in step 1. It's where you're actually focused upon the reality that you're living, and from it acknowledging the parts that are missing, the parts that you would like improvement from. It doesn't have to be this way, but for most people, most of the roots of their desires that they launch come from a step 1 experience. And when you think about it, you deliberately were born into a reality that already exists, because unless you have a conscious awareness of where you are, there's not as much satisfaction as you move forward beyond it. And so we'll go that far in discussing grounding. It's like an acknowledgement of where I am as I am reaching for that which is beyond it. But we would never deliberately return to grounding if our option were tuning to the highest frequency and soaring toward the vibrational allowance of what the grounding caused us to put into motion. It would be like saying, so let's say that you are just a little guy who is learning to walk, and you're teetering around and you've got it down good, and now you're upright and moving pretty good, and you're running, and now you've got really good balance, and you're walking on the edges of things, and you hop off and up on the fence post, and you're just agile and really delighted in your body. And someone would say to you, well, that's all well and good, but every day you need to crawl around a little bit. Every day you need to go back to what you were when you first got here, because we don't want you to get too haughty about walking around. And of course it's a bulky, ridiculous analogy, but it's sort of kind of the same. Expansion is something that is inevitable within all of us. And grounding is sort of like deliberately holding yourself back from your expansion. And the only reason that anyone would teach that it's where we started here today. If you've got a desire that you're not allowing, you've got a strong tug of war going on inside of you that doesn't feel good. And there may be those that would say to you, you need to ground yourself. You need to stop wanting that so much. You need to face reality a little more. You need to take the tension out of this tug of war. And we want to say to you, you will never take the tension out of the tug of war by attempting regression, which cannot exist in this universe. There's no going back. There's no now becoming less than you have become. In fact, that's the very basis of your emotional guidance system. You have vibrationally allowed yourself to become more, and now you must let yourself be it, or there is resistance within you, you see. Helpful?
Yeah.
You understand, or you get the idea of what we talk about when we talk about getting out ahead of it? If you get out ahead of something by establishing a pattern of thought that feels good to you, then you're less likely to run into resistance. But if you don't get out ahead of it, you might bump up against it, and then you still have some choices, but it's more difficult. We'll have a little run on that before we're finished, about if we were standing in your physical shoes, how we would approach living in this physical experience in an attitude of being as resistance-free as possible, moment by moment. Yes. We like that you are here, not just here in this room, but here in these bodies. We like that you are here in this specific moment in time. We like that you've chosen this time and this space. We like that in this moment you know what you know. We've talked too much about too many things, and in some ways have convoluted it in a way that makes it almost uncomfortable to you. We could have talked half as much and left you in a higher place. But in that exploring the contrast, we've added to a collective whole in a way that has never been added to before. And because of the willingness of you to sit in this energy and listen and receive as you have been doing, what's happened is that all that is has moved forward in a dramatic way, more dramatic than in most moments in time. More of the things that you've seen as problems have tipped on the fulcrum to the solution side of it. The things that you've been asking for are lined up in a more acute way for you to witness them. You're more likely to feel the power of your being or the power of your past pointing. And all of that's going to be really a wonderful thing. It's nice to have more money coming faster and to be able to associate it with this moment in time when you are more allowing. But the thing that rings our bells the most about a moment in time like this, where you are willing to sit and play with us and think with us and contribute with your thoughts, even if you're not sitting in the hot seat, the thing that rings our bells the most is that you are closer to understanding who you really are, the true power of who you really are. And because you've dabbled with that thought just a little bit in the time that we've been together, when you are in the vicinity of your true power, you'll be in a place where you can exercise it more fully, so that these words that we've been speaking here today will have personal meaning to you, because words don't teach. Right now, Esther just looks like someone who speaks with authority and with confidence. She looks like she's someone who's really studied her stuff and knows what she's talking about. She's talking about vibration and all those kinds of things that may or may not be meaningful to you. But in the process of your exposure to this conversation, this is a sure thing that has happened. Your vibrational frequency is closer to the frequency of your inner being than it has ever been in your life, which means you are more open, you are more in the state of allowing than you've ever been in your life, which means it's going to be more obvious to you the power that you possess than you've ever experienced before. And it is our desire that you acknowledge that as it happens, that you acknowledge these law of attraction moments, but more important, you acknowledge these being tuned into who you really are moments. We want you to take away from this conversation the invincibility that really is yours to own. We want you to take away from this conversation the prosperity that really is yours to own. It's time for you to start cashing in those vibrational chips that you've been gathering up for a very long time, and you've never been in a better position to do that. When you get outside this room and you begin talking to the people that are out there that might wonder what you've been doing or what it was like for you here today, be very vague in your response to them. Say to them things like, I don't really know what I got from this, but I feel way better. And I'm pretty sure that it's going to become more obvious to me as time goes by. I'll get back to you on that. Don't try to pinpoint anything that happened here today, because it wasn't a physical thing that happened. It was a vibrational thing that happened. It was an energetic thing that happened. It was an aligning thing that happened. It was an empowering thing that happened that you can't get your thoughts around, but your inner being can. So your inner being is going to begin replaying all of this day back to you in little bits and pieces and little spurts as your life puts you in a position where there's something about what you heard today that will be explained through the life that you're living. And when that happens, you're going to recognize it, you're going to know it, and you're going to know that it was your power, not Esther's. You're going to know that it was your connection with your inner being, not Abraham's trying to assert something into your experience. There's no assertion. There's only you letting in the power of who you are. You're powerful beings, and there is such great love here for you. And for now, just for a little while, we are complete.
Because my life is going beautifully. It gets easier and easier, and as I become clearer and clearer and understand deeper and deeper, I would like to better understand my impulses, because as
your impulses are always receptive mode.